You know that feeling when you fix a leak under the sink, you wipe everything down, and then it comes right back? That's exactly what happens when you hit pay minimum on a credit card. You think you're tightening the wrench, but the pressure in the pipes isn't going down. Today, I'm taking you under the hood of the credit card engine. And we're not talking about spending habits today. This is purely the mechanical failure of minimum payments. I'm going to show you the math that keeps people stuck for decades, then hand you the right size wrench to break the trap. This is education, not personal advice. All right, let's look at a normal person scenario. Your car decides it hates you, or your laptop dies mid-work, or you just had a rough month and life happens. You put $5,000 on a credit card. Statement shows up. Balance, $5,000. The interest rate, that's pressure in the system, let's say 20% APR as an example. Then the bill says, no worries, just pay the minimum. In this example, the minimum starts around 2% of the balance. And there's a little floor amount too, like $40, so it never drops to zero. So on $5,000, your minimum starts around $100. You pay the $100 on time, you feel responsible. The bank is happy, you think you're chipping away. But are you? Guess before I say it. On a $5,000 balance at 20% APR, about how much of that first payment gets eaten by interest? Half? A quarter? $10? Lock in a number. Here's the dashboard. Imagine your debt is a tank. Interest is pressure building every month, and the minimum payment is this tiny valve that opens just enough so the engine doesn't stall. Now, 20% APR is roughly 1.67% per month. Example, 1.67% of $5,000 is about $83. So out of your $100 minimum payment, around $83 goes to interest first. Only about $17 actually lowers the debt. That's not a payoff plan. That's you paying rent on the debt. You're bailing out a sinking boat with a teaspoon. And here's the part nobody tells you. The minimum is usually a moving target. As your balance drops a tiny bit, the minimum often drops too. Okay, now let's watch the timeline chain reaction. A, you pay the minimum. B, most of it gets swallowed by interest pressure. C, your balance barely moves, so next month the interest is still basically there. D, the minimum can slide down, which slows your payoff even more. And that D is where people get stuck, because you're doing what you were told, but the machine is built to keep you idling. This is the treadmill effect. You're running, you're paying, but you're not moving forward. Pause and guess. If you stop spending on the card today, and you only pay the minimum as it changes over time, how long do you think it takes to clear $5,000 at 20% APR in this example? 5 years? 10 years? In this example, it can take about 32 years to fully pay off. And over that time, the total interest can add up to roughly $17,000 in this example, meaning you pay back the original $5,000, plus you pay the bank the price of the item about 3 more times. So why does this happen? Minimum payments are not built to get you out fast. They're built to keep your account alive, keep you paying, and keep the pressure gauge near the red line. If you only pay the minimum, you're technically fine, but mathematically, you're in a trap. All right, let's grab the wrench. Here's the fix, and it's basically 3 wrench turns. Start by checking your gauges. On your statement, find the balance and the interest charged. If you don't know your interest line, you're working blind. Then set a fixed payment floor. The minimum drops as the balance drops. Don't follow it down. Pick a number you can sustain that's higher than the starting minimum, and don't let it shrink. And while you're doing that, plug the leak. If you're still swiping on that card for day-to-day stuff while paying it down, that's like adding water to the tank while you're trying to drain it. For a season, keep that card for true emergencies only. What happens if you add just $50 and refuse to let your payment shrink? Instead of paying whatever the minimum becomes, you pay $150 every month, flat. In this example, that takes your payoff from decades down to about 4 years. That extra $50 didn't just save $50, it killed time. And time is the multiplier in this trap. Now let's finish with signals so you know what zone you're in. Green signal, your payment is clearly higher than the interest charge, and your balance drops every month without drama. Yellow signal, your payment is only a little higher than interest. You're moving, but slow. Red signal, your payment is close to the interest. Fees keep showing up, or your balance is rising while you're paying. That's a pressure problem.
and you may need a different plan than minimums. Question for you. On your last statement about how much of your payment went to interest versus actual debt, drop a comment and tell me what you want to fix next.